All right, Mario, in this section, we're going to talk about some misconceptions about cruising. So why don't you tell us some questions that people will come up to you and ask while maybe you're on the pool deck hanging out. People want to know the misconceptions.
Okay, and you can come up with a very long list.
You really can.
I really narrowed it down to really 5 important ones that I think.
Okay.
Number 1 is the feeling of being confined. People that have never been on a cruise, they say, well, how am I going to go on a ship? It's going to be confined. I'm going to be in a tight space for 7 days with no mobility and in a small cabin, and I'm going to feel, very, very tight. And that is a misconception, obviously, because we know that these ships are ample. There's plenty of room. It's a hotel. It's a big hotel. It's a floating city. So there's no confinement really to speak of, okay? And then you got the ports of call where you can go out the whole day and, experience the outdoors.
It's quite the opposite. It opens it.
Completely.
It opens your world.
Completely. So it is a misconception, but it is out there. It's still out there. Second one, I would say people think they're long lines. There's a long line for the buffet, a long line to come into the ship, to go to the dining room and all that. That's pretty much been broken down. There's so many venues now, dining venues and restaurants, and the way the ships are designed, that they pretty much have been able to avoid the long lines. Now, not to say that you're not going to experience them once in a while. Sure you are. Sometimes I've seen a huge line in the My Time dining, where people happen to, book the My Time dining.
Yeah.
Everybody and their brother selected My Time dining, and
Right.
it's going to be a long line. And I've seen that happen once in a while. But by and large, it is not going to, to ruin your cruise, the long lines. Okay.
Yeah.
Seasickness. Yeah. I'm going to get sick on a cruise. I'm going to get seasick, or I'm going to get the norovirus. The norovirus. Once again, the media has dramatized or amplified this whole thing about the norovirus. Every time there's a norovirus outbreak on a ship, it goes into breaking news, headline news, right?
Yeah.
And not realizing that statistically, there are more norovirus outbreaks on land than per capita than on ships.
Wow.
For sure. Oh, absolutely, without a doubt. So the incidence of norovirus on ships is lower than on land. Yeah. And it happens on hospitals, for example. It happens in many places, yeah. So I don't think people have to worry about that. The best way to avoid the norovirus is just to wash your hands.
Washy.
Washy, exactly, washy. And seasickness, okay, that may be an issue for some people. And all you need to do is be aware of it and take proper precautions in terms of using whatever, whatever substance you want to use to avoid getting seasick. If you do get seasick, I have the perfect remedy.
What's that?
Green apples, soda crackers, and carbonated soda, all together. It's curative. It cures seasick. It does. It's a chemical reaction between those 3 elements. Green apples, soda crackers, and ginger ale, Sprite, carbonated. So if you ever get seasick, follow my prescription. And if you get cured, please send me a free cruise certificate for my next cruise.
Advice, but it'll cost you.
No, it's my pleasure. Okay, so the next misconception, it has to do with security and safety.
Okay.
Okay, once again, the media has the habit of making a sensation out of things that happen on cruise ships. They're obsessed with cruise ship news, So if somebody jumps off a cruise ship, oh my God, terrible thing. What, did they find the guy? Did he make it? But if he were to jump off a balcony in a hotel in Las Vegas, you would never know about it. You wouldn't know about it. It would be on page 32 of the newspaper. If it jumps off the Oasis in the Caribbean, you'll see it on the news. Yep. So the media has distorted the whole safety thing, I think, too much. And once again, it is, if you look at statistically, the occurrence is very, very, very low compared to things that happen on land that may take your life or whatever. And safety. I've always told parents, I said, it is safer on a cruise ship for your children than going to school in today's world.
Wow.
Statistically, safer to be on a cruise ship for your kids than going to school or going to the park or whatever. Pure statistics. They're very safe, very, very safe on a cruise ship. Extremely safe. And so are adults, very much so. Now, the media sometimes takes isolated events and puts them in the front page, and then it blows them up and people begin to draw erroneous conclusions.
Yeah.
So that's another misconception, that there's lack of security and safety. No, not true. And the last one, my favorite one, hurricanes.
Your favorite.
Yes. And once again, the perception, the misconception is not correct. People say, no, I don't want to cruise in September, August, September, October because of the hurricanes in the Caribbean. It's exactly when you want to cruise. That is exactly when you want to cruise. Why? For two good reasons. Number one, the prices are the lowest in September and October. Lowest prices of the year. Okay, kids are back in school, hurricane season, demand goes down, prices go down. Second reason is the safest place to be in a hurricane is on a moving cruise ship. For example, my home base is in Miami. If a hurricane were to come to Miami, okay, I would be a sitting duck. I would be sitting there in my condo with flooded, no electricity, no air conditioning, couldn't be able to go out. On a cruise ship, I've got air conditioning, electricity, I've got food, I've got everything, and I'm never going to feel the hurricane.
The ability to move right around it and divert it.
The ship moves away from the hurricanes. They outrun the hurricanes. So if a hurricane were to be in the path of a particular cruise ship, the cruise ship changes itinerary. So you're in the safest place to be if you're in a hurricane-prone area. And so I say, book your cruise during the hurricane season and you'll be fine.
So speaking of these hurricanes, have you ever actually encountered severe weather?
Well, if you define severe weather by it's that the seas are rough. In other words, not so much that it's raining or thunder or lightning or anything like that. Mm-hmm. Let's say rough seas. Sure. I have been in seas that have been as high as 70-foot waves.
Wow.
Yeah. Now you can imagine 70-foot waves in Europe, in the Mediterranean. One time, and let me tell you, the ship, it was scary. It was very scary. The captain made the announcement that we're going to go through a period of severe roughness, unavoidable, and he said, just hunker down. You know, we're going to be the biggest roller coaster in the world, okay? The biggest in the world. So they suspended dinner service after 7 o'clock. Get your food, eat, and hunker down. We're going to suspend all the activities because it's going to be impossible. So sure enough, the ship was like a biggest roller coaster, and you know what I did? I didn't hunker down. I went to the Viking Crown, the top level, to get maximum effect.
Of course you did.
Of course I did. I wanted to feel the maximum effect. And nobody.
I'm gonna live and tell everyone about this.
And nobody was there. Nobody was the only one. I was sitting
they were
outside.
listening to the captain.
Yeah, I was just sitting outside, just seeing the water come into the bow of the ship, the sides of the ship. The water was coming in everywhere.
Wow.
And the ship was just like, boom, 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 boom. And it lasted for, a few hours until we got out of it. But that's an extreme situation. I don't think I'll ever experience that again. But let's say 20-foot waves, 25-foot waves, yeah, you'll get that once in a while. Not in the Caribbean. You'll get that either in the Mediterranean or in somewhere in Europe, in the Baltics or even in the Pacific Ocean, okay, a trans-Pacific cruise, or sometimes in a transatlantic, up in the North Sea, near, north of England, you're going to get 20, 25-foot waves, yeah. But once again, there's nothing to worry about. You just, if you're going to get seasick, take precautions. If not, then, don't worry about it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wonderful. Well, I think you covered some awesome misconceptions, and I hope that debunks some myths for you guys. Thank you for sharing those.
Sure.
Very enlightening. So that does it for the misconceptions segment. I hope you enjoyed this video, and make sure you do check out all our other segments as we break down so many different topics from viewers' questions that you asked from season 1, and also all of our content creators' questions as well. It's been fabulous getting to know this. So if you missed any of those, you can check that all out in the description box below and dive into all of these fantastic interview questions. So thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed this video, please do give it a big thumbs up, subscribe for more, and ciao,
Ciao for now.